Before you listen, you now have 30 seconds to read questions 1 to 10.
Good morning, Creative Arts Center. Claire speaking. How can I help you today?
Hello, I'd like to book a place on the weekend photography course, please.
Certainly. I can take your details now. Could I start with your name, please?
Yes, it's Liam Harrison.
Could you spell the surname for me, please?
Of course. It's Harrison.
Thank you, Liam. And what's your contact phone number?
It's 07700 900041.
Great. Now, we offer different levels. Would you say your current experience level is beginner, intermediate, or advanced?
Definitely beginner. I've only just bought my first digital camera.
Excellent, this workshop is perfect for beginners. The next available date is the 14th of May. Or we have another one on the 4th of June.
The 14th of May works best for me, as I'm busy in June.
Great, I'll book you in for May the 14th. Now, you will need to bring your own digital camera, and we also ask everyone to bring a tripod. We provide lenses, memory cards, and lighting.
Okay, I have a camera, so I'll make sure to buy and bring a tripod with me.
Perfect. And can I ask how you heard about this course? Was it through our social media page?
No, actually, I received your monthly newsletter in an email and saw it there. I often read it to see what new classes are starting.
Oh, that's good to hear. Now, for the registration fee of £45, how would you like to pay? We accept credit card or PayPal.
I'll pay using PayPal, please. It's much faster.
All done. The workshop will be held in Studio 4 on the second floor.
Studio 4? Got it.
Yes. And if you are driving, you'll need to print a parking permit to put on your dashboard. The code for the permit is PH72.
Let me write that down. PH72.
That's it. Finally, we need an emergency contact name and relationship.
Yes, you can write down my sister, Sarah Harrison.
So that's your sister.
Yes, correct.
Excellent. I'll send a confirmation email right away.
That is the end of part 1. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers. Before you listen, you now have 30 seconds to read questions 11 to 20.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for coming to our monthly update on the Oak Lane Community Garden. It is wonderful to see so many familiar and new faces. We started this project 2 years ago. Many people think we did it to supply local markets with organic food, or to give local schoolchildren a safe play area. but our primary goal was simply to regenerate an abandoned urban plot that had become an eyesore and turn it into something beautiful for the entire neighborhood. In our first month, we hit a few snags. Although we expected the weather to hold up, we had to halt work because of the soil. Tests showed it was highly acidic and contaminated, requiring specialized chemical treatment before we could plant anything. Thankfully, the timber and other building materials we ordered arrived right on schedule, so we were able to begin constructing the raised beds as soon as the land was declared safe. Funding is always a concern for projects like ours. Initially, we applied for a municipal council grant but were unsuccessful. Private businesses have promised to support us in the future, but currently, we rely entirely on membership fees collected from our active gardeners. This financial model has kept us independent and allowed us to buy seeds and tools. This Saturday, we are hosting our first seasonal composting workshop. It is open to anyone, and while it normally costs £10, it is completely free of charge for local residents this weekend. You do not need to sign up beforehand, just turn up on the day, and we'll provide all the necessary tools. Looking ahead to next month, we have some exciting plans. While a wooden greenhouse would be lovely, we've decided to prioritize sustainability by constructing a rainwater collection system to help irrigate our crops during the dry summer. A dedicated play zone for children might be a project for next year, once we secure more funding. Now, if you'd like to volunteer, there are a few safety guidelines to keep in mind. First, always wear thick gloves when handling soil and plants to avoid cuts or insect bites. Normal gardening shoes are recommended, but gloves are absolute safety requirements. After finishing your shift, please ensure all hand tools are thoroughly washed and stored back inside the wooden shed, not left on the grass where they might rust. If you notice any damaged equipment, such as broken spades or cracked watering cans, please report it to the supervisor immediately so we can replace them. When you are the last person to leave the garden, make sure you double lock the main gate to prevent any vandalism overnight. Finally, we put up new notices every Monday, so don't forget to check the notice board for the weekly tasks that need doing.
That is the end of part 2. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers. Before you listen, you now have 30 seconds to read questions 21 to 30.
Hello James, Chloe. Thanks for coming. I've looked at your initial outline for your marketing presentation.
Thanks, Dr. Green. Honestly, Chloe and I looked at it again yesterday, and we both felt it was just too academic, far too theoretical, with not enough practical application.
Yes, we didn't have too many slides. In fact, we only had 5, and the case study on the multinational tech company was from last year, which is quite current. But it felt dry and abstract.
I agree. That's why I think you should pivot and focus on a local business instead. When you analyze a local enterprise, it makes your strategic evaluation much more relevant and tangible for your peers who are listening. You don't actually need to interview the business owners, and local data can sometimes be tricky to find compared to global firms, but the immediate context makes it far more engaging.
That makes sense. What if we look at the bakery on High Street? They've changed their branding recently.
Good idea. And we could apply the 4PS marketing model to analyze their strategy.
Oh, the 4PS. I know some modern researchers say it's outdated. but I actually think it's still highly applicable to modern retail, especially a brick-and-mortar bakery. It fits perfectly.
Yes, it's a solid framework. How are you going to divide the research?
I can look into their financial performance while you interview the manager.
Actually, let's do this. I'll conduct the manager interview, and you can focus on their public financial records.
Okay, that works. And we can both go through their customer reviews on social media.
Yes, let's do that together. That way we get a shared view of customer perception.
Excellent plan. Now, about deadlines. The actual presentation is next Friday. I'll need to see your final slides by next Wednesday so I can give you feedback before you present.
Oh, I thought we had until next Monday.
No, Monday is too early, but Wednesday is the cutoff.
That's fine, we can finish them by then.
Now, let's talk about the actual presentation delivery. Who is presenting which section?
For the introduction and background of the bakery, we thought it would look more professional if we both spoke. We can alternate slides.
Then, for the competitor analysis, I've got a lot of notes on that, so I'll handle that part alone.
And I'll take over for the SWOT analysis. I've designed a matrix that I want to explain.
What about the marketing recommendations? That's the most important part.
We should definitely present the recommendations together, as we both contributed equally to those ideas.
Good idea. And finally, who will handle the questions from the audience at the end?
I'm happy to take the lead on the Q&A session, as I'm comfortable answering questions on the fly.
Excellent. I look forward to seeing your slides next week.
That is the end of part 3. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers. Before you listen, you now have 30 seconds to read questions 31 to 40.
Good morning, everyone. In today's marine biology lecture, we are going to explore one of the most extreme environments on Earth, deep-sea hydrothermal vents. These underwater geysers were completely unknown to science until relatively recently. It was in 1977 that oceanographers first observed them near the Galapagos Islands, using a deep-diving submersible. This discovery completely changed our understanding of life's limitations, showing that complex life can thrive without any access to sunlight. So, how do these vents form? Seawater, cold and dense deep in the ocean, penetrates deep into the Earth's crust through cracks and fissures on the seabed. As it travels deeper, it is superheated by the underlying magma. Because the water is hot, it expands and rises rapidly back up, dissolving minerals from the surrounding rocks. When this superheated water, sometimes reaching temperatures over 400 degrees Celsius, meets the near-freezing deep ocean water, the dissolved minerals precipitate out. This rich mineral fluid is particularly high in sulfur, which deposits around the vent opening, gradually building up tall, chimney-like structures over years of activity. What is truly astonishing about these vents is the unique ecosystem they support. Unlike terrestrial or shallow water ecosystems, there is absolutely no sunlight at these depths, meaning photosynthesis is impossible. Instead, primary production is driven by chemosynthesis. This is a process where specialized microbes convert toxic chemicals, like hydrogen sulfide, into usable chemical energy. These microbes form the foundation of the local food web. For instance, giant tube worms, which can grow up to 8 feet long, have no mouth or gut. Instead, they survive through a symbiotic relationship with bacteria living inside their tissues. The bacteria convert the vent's sulfur compounds into organic food for the worm, while the worm provides shelter and essential chemicals. Other creatures have developed fascinating adaptations. The Hoff crab, for example, is famous for the thick, dense hair covering its chest. It uses this hair to trap and harvest the sulfur-oxidizing bacteria, which it then scrapes off and eats. Unfortunately, these pristine and fragile environments are now facing unprecedented threats. The primary concern is deep-sea mining. Because these vents are rich in valuable metals like gold, copper, and zinc, commercial mining companies are eager to exploit these remote areas. The machinery used in mining could destroy vent structures and wipe out entire communities of species that exist nowhere else on Earth. The destruction of these unique habitats could have unforeseen consequences for ocean ecology. To counter this, a growing coalition of international scientists is advocating for the establishment of marine reserves. These protected zones would place hydrothermal vents strictly off-limits to industrial exploitation. Beyond conservation, there is also great scientific interest in these ecosystems. Researchers believe that studying the unique microbes found at these vents could lead to major medical breakthroughs, particularly in the development of new antibiotics and cancer treatments. In our next lecture, we will look at the technology used to study these vents.
That is the end of the listening test. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers.